Good evening, guys. Once again, this is Manny coming from East Coast journalist. I want to thank you for tuning in on another episode. This one's very, very intriguing. Hopefully, you can sink in and sink your teeth into it. But first, we have an agenda today, and the description of tonight's podcast is going to put the culprits. Or some of the culprits, and there's so many, on hopefully we could put them on one day on a hot plate. But we're going to start off with the big honcho, Matthew Anderson. He's one of the big wigs that runs Imagineers. And he has this, it's not his permanent residence, not that I believe. I believe he has this bungalow. And this is where all the big senators and the big wigs get together. And it has security guards and no one could get in. So this is where they hang out, I guess, rub elbows. And that address would be 431 West Wakefield Boulevard in Winsted, Connecticut, 06098. We also want to speak about Ken Lesser, who is the town of Wethersfield mayor. He's a town mayor. And that address is 505 Silas Deane Highway, Wethersfield, Connecticut, 06104. The number there is 860-721-2800. Also, Patricia Sullen, who is the Director of Health, 860-745-0383. And that's at 2080 Silas Deane Highway, 100, Suite 100, Rocky Hill, Connecticut, 06067. We also want to speak about, hopefully one of you podcasters out there can speak to these people, put them on the hot seat, see what you think of their answers. That would be Rafael Medina III from Wethersfield Police Department, 250 Silas Deane Highway, Wethersfield, Connecticut, 06104. The phone numbers there is 860-721-2900. Also, Chief State's Attorney Christian Watson. That's at 20 Franklin Square, New Britain, Connecticut, 06051. The number to reach him is 860-515-5270. And last but not least, Governor of Connecticut, Ned Lamont, number 860-566-4840, and that's in Hartford, Connecticut. Once again, guys, I just want to thank you for chiming in. We're going to get right into it, nice and juicy. Sorry to say it like that because corruption and evil is not nice and juicy, but hopefully we can put this in our history books and grow from it. Dan, all on you.
Thank you, Manny. I want to also mention that Matthew Anderson is an attorney in the state of Connecticut, and that's why he would be hanging around these big wigs in his little outhouse in Winston, Connecticut. If you want to stop by and see Dick Blumenthal, all the senators and everything, we just gave you the address. We'll be posting that in our pictures. We'll be posting that in our description. So please look at the end of the podcast for all those pictures and updates and Matt Anderson with his family and everything pertaining to that. Now, I want to go over today's podcast, which is Daniel DeBella's handwriting document examination. Now, these pictures of the Anna Kyle report will be published during this podcast, so stay tuned for that. When you look at that, you can compare notes with Karen Muir from last episode and see her document forgery examination. Dina Jeffrey is the best forgery artist ever, nominated by Anna Kyle herself, a licensed, well-respected, well-renowned document examiner out of Hamden, Connecticut, the only document examiner we have in the state. Anna Kyle was paid to do this document examination, and the results are out. So our podcast listeners are going to be the jury, and we need all our podcasters to contact the White House, Donald J. Trump III, President J.D. Vance, Doge with Elon Musk, and let them know that Imagineers out of Connecticut is stealing money from HUD, stealing money from their people that they serve, which is their recipients. Dina Jeffrey is the best forgery artist ever. Let me just tell you something about Dina Jeffrey. That is not her real name today. That was her married name. When she got divorced, she went back to Dina Cerruti. Dina Cerruti works at Imagineers LLC in Hartford, Connecticut, and is in Wethersfield, and is forging documents right here in this town every single day. Grand forgery. Dina Jeffrey is a grand forgery artist. The chief of the Wethersfield Police Department, Rafael Medina III, needs to take Anna Kyle's report, send his officers to investigate and do his due diligence as he's sworn as a sworn police officer, and make sure Dina Jeffrey is served with an arrest. Now, when your name is Dina Jeffrey, your married name, and you go back to Dina Cerruti, every time you sign Dina Jeffrey, which is what she signed in all the documents, you can see the exhibits on the right-hand corner of each page of Anna Kyle's document examination report. And they are exhibits that how many times she forged. Dina just didn't forge our signatures. You're also going to see on our podcast that she sent it from the town of Wethersfield, certified to our registered dietitian, Marlene Philpotts. When Dina Jeffrey sent that from Wethersfield, Connecticut, that made it a Wethersfield crime. I understand the Wethersfield Police Department is in the middle of a politic war here. I get that. But Christian Watson, from the state chief state's attorney out of New Britain, Connecticut, had these documents in his office. He reviewed them. Attorney Matt Anderson, Attorney Elliot Lane, Attorney John F. O'Brien, who was our previous attorney, were all corrupt. They're all sitting there debating what they should do. Attorney O'Brien was hired out of Manchester, Connecticut to sue and prosecute the people that defamed myself and Karen Muir. He did not do that. He turned the other way. Now we find out that Matthew Anderson is an attorney. We have his documents. We know exactly where he lives. We're going to post where one of his houses are today, and we will continue to post them throughout the journey of this podcast. I would also like to shame the director of public health in Wethersfield, Connecticut, Patricia. I think Patricia needs to do her job, go to 117 Wells Road in Wethersfield, Connecticut, and remediate that mold. Listen, these people can't speak for themselves. The people at 117 Wells Road, you saw what happened to me, that they tried to have me arrested for a crime I didn't commit because we called the health department. These people don't have a voice. It's a mini, it's like, I call it a mini Russian, Manny. It's almost like Dina's dynasty, Dina Jeffrey's dynasty. Manny, what do you have to say about that?
Well, as many times as I hear the fucking story, excuse my language, I hear the story, it baffles me nonetheless. Yes, these people, I guess they have no shame and they're walking in pure evil. But sooner or later, when they meet their maker, they're gonna wish they did things a lot differently. But yeah, it baffles me every time you tell it. But continue.
Oh, the story gets worse. We have a lot more documents that we're going to be posting. This is just for our audience. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We have so many more documents. It's going to make our audience dumbfounded. It's the worst corruption in the United States history that's ever that will be unraveled before your very own eyes, before our viewers' eyes. And we need you to take these podcasts, like we mentioned previously, and send them to the White House. Let President Trump know. President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, and Doge with Elon Musk can get trillions of dollars from all these corporations. Because when you file a whistleblowing contract, what ends up happening is this, that they are charged treble damages in the whistleblowing contract, which means that's 4 times the amount of what they stole. That's a lot of Benjamins, Manny.
Right.
A lot of Benjamins. And Rafael Medina III, he needs to do the right thing, get his detectives out there, and arrest Dina Jeffrey. When you have a document examination, the only way to refute that is to get another document examiner to refute that, in which case that goes to court. And HUD or the state of Connecticut did drop the ball on it. They didn't want to hire anyone. Why? Because Anna Kyle's been a licensed document examiner licensed by the state and federal government for over 47 years, and she's never been wrong once in her document in her document examinations, not once. So her word is extremely credible, and it's enough to have these people arrested for forgery and violation of HIPAA. So with that, Christian Watson from the from the chief state attorney in New Britain, Connecticut, he's all corrupt with Attorney Anderson, Attorney O'Brien, Attorney, what's his name? Attorney Elliot Lane, and all this stuff. It's all one big corrupt family. Attorney O'Brien said it quite simply out of Manchester, Connecticut. This is the most corrupt case he has ever seen in his entire career. Well, Attorney O'Brien, this message goes out to you, my friend. You're part of the corruption. If you can't beat it, you might as well join it. And that would make a lot of sense from our podcast view, that Matthew Anderson would be pulling a lot of strings. A lot of people doesn't know he's an attorney. Manny, isn't that shocking?
That is very shocking, but hey, nothing surprises me with these people, not anymore.
No, nothing actually does surprise me either. We have a bunch more documents that we're going to be posting of all sorts of things. And it's going to make America's eyes roll over. And Imagineers doesn't want us to get out because they're the ones that started this corrupt business with all the other corporations across our great nation. Matt Anderson, you told me back in 2018, this message is for you, Attorney Matthew Anderson, that you called me and my partner and you threatened us for calling the health department. I hope you remember that. And I told you in return, Matthew, I got this. And your reply back to me was, sure you do, Mr. DeBella, sure you do. Matt, let me reassure you, I got this. We're going to get a whistleblowing contract from DC, and we're going to put Imagineers in the Pandora box, and we're going to make sure that you're the poster boy of America. It's coming. Just wait, Matt Anderson. It's really coming. It's not a threat. It's a promise. I made that promise to you back in 2018, and I stand still strong on my promise. You will be called out. We have all of your addresses. We have everything. This is a great podcast. This is about our First Amendment right. This is about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. America, wake up. These corporations are robbing us blind. And it's right underneath Donald Trump's nose. And let me just say this one last verse, Manny, that Connecticut doesn't want Doge and the feds to come to Connecticut. Well, guess what? We're going to get them to come to Connecticut. We're going to flag them down. We will definitely sign this whistleblowing contract and put Imagineers right in the middle of the mix. And when that happens, Matt Anderson, you're going to know this day happened. But the American people will know the truth. And the First Amendment will shine, the most protected civil right in our nation's history. Manny, I'm going to let you talk, and then we're going to wrap this thing up, and we're going to post. And I just want to say one more thing, Manny. We're going to be posting Dina Jeffrey's Her divorce decree. Her real name is Dina Cerruti, but every time she signs Dina Jeffrey, um, well, you get the verse. It's grand forgery. You can't sign anything but your name, especially on HUD documents. Dina Jeffrey is the best, or Dina Jeffrey / Dina Cerruti is the best forgery artist I have ever seen. Just like Anna Kyle said. Manny, back to you.
Well, just basically, I want to sum up everything. Well, mostly everything that you said, with all these, because the corruption goes deep. Even to the, like you said, to the people that didn't know anything about Imagineers, like John O'Brien takes your money, takes a contract, states to you and Karen that he is going to prosecute because he has enough evidence to do so. And then after a few months, he's doing everything the opposite, as if he, spoke to someone Imagineers and conveniently. Well, I'm just trying to sum it up for our viewers out there and our listeners, because sometimes I do get confused myself. So just to sum it up, with everyone that we spoke to today, is just the tip of the iceberg. But I just want to focus on O'Brien, because how were you raised to take someone's money and then do the opposite of what you told them you're going to do? And then it just once again, the word baffles is the only one I can use, because that's what it does, and these people get away with it, and it's unbelievable. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I can't wait. I hope everyone views the documents that we're posting up, and then I'll see you guys in the next podcast. Have a good night.
Yeah, I want to wish everyone a good night. Thank you for watching East Coast Journalists. Until next time, our next podcast, stay well, stay safe, stay informed, stay educated, and love the Constitution of the United States of America. Love your civil rights that are given to you. Exercise your civil rights that have been given to you by our founding fathers. On that note, God bless the United States of America and our planet. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for
Amen.
watching East Coast Journalist.
Amen. Thank you.